You're already using the cloud to write your follow-up notes, the good ones. That usually sounds like you.
Now, where do those notes end up? If you're like most agents, Al and I talk about the copy-paste graveyard. Cloud writes it in one window, you're highlighting, you're switching between BoldTrail and KVCore, you find the contract, you paste, you repeat, but there's a better way than just copy and pasting and handing off.
Exactly. If a contact called you, for example, tomorrow and said, stop emailing me, I told you to stop, could you prove with a timestamp? Exactly, you honor that? Could you show which leads you touched this week, which one you skipped, why you skipped them? Do you know all of these answers to this question?
And brilliant down to this. And CoWork AI is advisory. It advises, it drafts, it suggests, but it doesn't do you. You are still the manual bridge between intelligence of cloud and the system that's supposed to live on. That's not leverage. That's not the smarter way to do this. And worse, when the work is in a chat window and it's copy paste, you don't have an audit trail. Then you can't prove what you did when you did it because it's not there in the notes right away if you missed the note. So here's what we're going to talk about today: how we actually use cloud directly in our BoldTrail and or what it used to be KVCore. This is not advising. This is not copy and pasting. It is how cloud is embedded into our system.
Exactly. Basically, reading a contact history, drafting the right touch for their stage, writing the notes straight onto their timeline, applying the right tags to them, enrolling to opt in, and hard stopping anyone has not opt in with the skip log for your audit trail could be part of this process that we were talking about.
Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is what you can't do with the BoldTrail and cloud, but let's talk about what we can do too. First, we've already talked about the memory stuff. We've already talked about being an architect. We already talked about the fair housing brick. We already talked about that's in your cloud already, so everything is staying compliant. You talked about pricing skills. We talked about listing descriptions. We talked about counter offers. Now, every one of them is a tool. You set the rules, the memory enforces it forever. Now we're talking about the connection, the private place between cloud and your CRM, and that's for us is BoldTrail, and it is through the public API. And using these tokens keeps the local environment yours. It's not hard coded, it's never pasted and copy and paste. It is never anything you can actually share.
Exactly. And today we want to set the expectation right now. And in the first 2 minutes, this connection is a narrow door and is not a magic gateway that does everything for you.
Now, it's expected to do a limited amount of things, and that's exactly why it's trustworthy and something you can use. And when you look at the door top to bottom and all the parts are locked and you need proof that it works, and now we're going to show you our own pipeline thing. I'm very excited about it. So here's how we wired it in. We built this system out. I've been building since January of 2026. I've been playing with cloud. And it's been amazing. And if you're not using your own system, if you're buying the zip codes off these websites, if you're now paying hundreds of dollars a month, you're paying for a portal that delivers and it's not necessarily giving you closing. So we want to make sure that we're always owning our own business, growing our own business, and making sure that cloud is my system in which I can actually make sure leads have intelligent follows. And this isn't leverage. This isn't someone else's subscription. This is me running my own business the way with information that I already know about the person. So it's not just me thinking anymore. Now let's talk about the nitty gritty.
Exactly. First of all, the BoldTrail has a public API, as my wife said, and cloud can exactly do 6 things. Basically, cloud can read the contact for you, read the contact's note history, read the all full call log that you made already, write a note, apply the tags that is needed, and create a contact. This is what the cloud can do, the entire list for you.
Now, we have an API token and it's stored in our local cloud, so we don't have to actually run it again and again. It's stored in our code. And this tool gives the token to get into our BoldTrail. And it's going to run on a schedule and do certain things for me all the time. So when it happens, it's not just when I open my laptop, things are already done. And most people won't tell you this. not everything is always smooth, right? So API can reject things, or the system can skip things, or it'll log it instead of crashing it. So you do have to make sure that you have a sweeper system, a coding system, a higher up system to make sure that you're not missing leads. And then you also have to make sure that we understand that the community is gated. There's a security step. This is a lot. This is not a magic door. This is a narrow door of what we can do. Now we have an API. We can do it. Also have all of that foundation we talked about. And now let's talk about what it does amazingly well.
Exactly. Therefore, the automation nurture run, that's what we wanted to talk about. Here's the run from start to finish. This fires on a schedule, and so no contacts actually sleep and no consent can get violated. The first thing is basically it pulls the contact that needs a touch. Cloud requires BoldTrail, which the CRM that we use, me and my wife, in EXP, for contacts to the follow-up by a stage and by their last activity.
Now, reading the entire, it's not a name on a list, it's reading everything you have notes, all your handwritten notes, all the things that you put in there. The API cannot return that history, it's reading it, so it's making sure that there's a gap there, so it's not just making up information about this person anymore. And then third thing it's always checking is it's checking consent, and this is the hard gate that we were talking about. Now, if somebody has said stop, then it's not going to send anymore. It's like you now have that date, they hit stop, it's permanent, it's in the notes, and now Cloud, unless this person re-signed up, is not going to send to Mary, who already said, won't you stop, right? So it's not going to do that.
Exactly. Therefore, number 4, for opt-in contacts, it drafts actually the touch. Cloud generate the right nurture message, for example, for that contact stage and history with the fair housing overlay to be applied.
Right, and it's going to write the notes in your timeline straight into your BoldTrail so you know what's happening, date, contact, type of touch. And it will give tags as people come. So if you've talked to somebody and they told you something happened, now it's going to get, even if you didn't put the tag, Cloud, since it's reading it, will be your messenger and make sure all your tags are there so you know where you stand next time. And it's always listening for that stop. So if they say stop, unsubscribe, all of that, it's a permanent opt-out. So that's always a good thing too, when you're not emailing or texting people who don't want to hear from you. And every one of those things is stepped. Another one I'd say as well, what we also do with this is not in here, but I'm going to tell you it anyway, is we have Cloud read and tell us the top 20 people I need to make sure we are in contact with every single day, because it's reading all the notes, it's seeing what's happening, my activity on my BoldTrail in Cloud. And if Mary, I'm just making up a person named Mary today, she was looking at 5 houses and I know this about Mary and she's already pre-approved, she needs to go to the top of the list. And if I didn't see that because I got busy, I'm getting an email with the 20 as well. So when I'm sitting down, I have a CRM that has a memory. I've got the email to tell me to email Mary or to call Mary, and we have all of the system that's already making sure it's there. So now let's talk about compliance. Exactly,
the compliance. We wanted to slow down here because this is a part that really protects your license. Automated follow-up, touch-up. We have two real laws that we need to follow. One of them is the TCPA that many of you know about it for the text, and the other one is a can spam for email. The danger is not really automation. The danger is automation without any proof. So the consent gate is non-negotiable. And here's something important and reassuring that we want to share with you.
We're not sending out marketing emails, texts. It's it's again sending information based on their information. So if we know that Mary is looking for a ranch style home with a bit of land, it's going to talk about what we know it's going to talk to her about. So it's less reason for someone just to hit spam, no, because it's really personalized with this system now. Now, compliance is obviously very important. And now let's talk about the math, the copy and paste, and why this works way better than just checking in with ChatGPT and with the Cloud co-work, because you're going to do follow-up, and you're going to do follow-ups every single day. So it's better to have a code running to where your automation is happening.
Exactly. Basically finding the contact, pasting the note, updating the tags, call in 1 hour, and across the day for those contacts that you have in your CRM, which in our case is a BoldTrail, is
and if you see the fly flying around, I apologize.
That is roughly 20 hours a month for you, and 200 plus hours a year. For you, might take that you do it manually, which you can do it with the cloud with no problem, and put basically any honest dollar figure on your own time, you will land somewhere in that stinks.
Now, basically, you're not reinvesting your time. The follow-up is still happening. You've trained your system. The bot is doing everything in your own voice, and the system is not getting tired because it's Tuesday afternoon and you need a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Now, you get your hours back. You get your nurturing system there, and it's a smarter system than just our old school, just canned follow-up system, because now it's really, really personalized to what we know exactly what this person's talking about and what they want. So basically, I have to say that narrow door is amazing because that's exactly what you need to do. Cloud connected to your BoldTrail is going to read the contact, read the notes, read the full catalog, write the notes, write the tags, create a contact, and roll them at cadence. This is not a complete list, but this is what it can do. So you can look at your marketing calendar messages, you can see what's on, and you can see that more things are happening because it's now personalized to a person rather than a canned messaging system.
Exactly. Therefore, now we walk you through the part one of what we were talking about, how this operates and what we have built so far.
Yeah.
And now we wanted to talk about a couple things that we need to talk about. Number one is behavior trigger touches. Your CRM already knows a lead is browsing a home, for example, as my wife said, in your website for the real estate. Right now, for most of us, signal just sits there. It could be triggered same morning touch because a lead who have looked at 6 houses last night, looked at 6 houses last night, is the hottest name on your list that you want to talk about. And nobody is reaching out on that signal because before with the canned emails, you pretty much your system ignored it.
The second thing, number two, is you want to close the call loop. So basically, again, it's building that call system that I told you about every day. And it's, if your person told me call you in the spring, it said call me in, well, that's going to show up there and it's going to be paying attention. Yes, you're going to call a little sooner than that because just because someone said that doesn't make it true. But you can now set your system and your code of how you want it to handle stuff like that. And now tag with real segmentation, number three, is a really great search engine. If you know their stage of their stage of buying or selling, their source where they came from, are they a buyer and seller, what are they looking at, this is going to give Cloud a lot of information to make sure we're talking to the person about their likes. Talking about number four.
Exactly. Now a speed to lead. The first 5 minutes after the new lead comes into your BoldTrail is a whole ball game. A Cloud basically authored the first touch, that fast every time instead of wherever you happen to check in. And this is super important because you're just sitting, Cloud read, enter your input from that contact and does all these things for you in a couple seconds.
Now, number five is going to be our lead source return on investment. So now you can follow exactly where you're getting your leads from, and it's sitting there in the data, and you don't have to actually pull it. You can actually just talk to Cloud about this. Once you have enough closings out there, you can see really which leads are going to come from what area. So when you hit the ball, API can miss some contacts. You have to have a sweeper AI to make sure it's in there. You have to have if we had a deeper API access, I would love that. There's so much more I could do, but it's still working on a daily cycle and it's not a live stream yet. But this narrow door means that we have a way of going in every single day. So that's really what we want to talk about because that's what we do with our API at this time. I mean, our Cloud code, and you want to make sure that you're building your system one step at a time. So let's just go through this again. We have our foundation, we have the fair housing, we have pricing bricks, we have listing bricks, we have counter offer bricks. Now we're talking about the connection tool of that bridge. Now we are now creating more tech for building our bridge, and we're having the intelligence that's going to cross the schedule to help you get more.
Exactly. Therefore, we are here, Anna Victoria Pinder with eXp Realty. We love to help you to level up your business with all the training that we have. And we love you to schedule a call in the description below with us. And looking forward to talk to you and watch all of our playlists here. And don't forget to subscribe in our channel and talk to you.